What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my second episode of Flutter Weekly Widgets. And in this video we are going to talk about another very cool widget, which is the animated builder. So I am trying to make videos on those widgets which we probably miss sometimes and we don't know how to use them. So because I'm not going to talk about rows and column, and maybe we can cover the all common widgets in one video. So today we will talk about animated builder. So basically, what is animated builder? So we have a widget called animated builder by which we can perform animations to some particular widgets when we have a very complex you can say builder function. And suppose we have a tree where we have a particular widget, and on that particular widget only we want to perform some animation, and we don't want our suppose there is a subtree and there is only one widget which needs the animation. Then we just don't want to rebuild all the widgets, because when animation happens, then it happens very fast, and there are a lot of you always know about that there is a 60 frames per second changes in the per second there are 60 frames which are changing. So we don't want that thing to happen with every widget, so that they don't build their self, because then there will be some performance issues. So we don't want to do that. So let's see how we can use this animated builder. So as you can see, we have just a home here, and I will say that I will pass here an animated builder example. Now we need to make this, so I have another dart file here, animated underscore builder dart. So here what we can do, first of all we will import the material.dart package, and then we can say we need a stateful widget animated builder example. Okay, why we need this stateful widget? Because we want to change the state, and we also have to access the mixin, which is the single ticket provider mixin. So basically that's what we do. So in this class you can see we have this animated builder example state, which is extending our state, and while it is extending our state, we will also write this with keyword to provide a mixin to it. So mixin is like there are some methods which we can use in any class. Like this is a kind of, you can say, maybe multiple inheritance maybe, but that's not exactly the multiple inheritance. That's just you can say it's a small part of it. You just want to access some methods of a particular class, so that's why we use it. So here we can either say let's say this ticker provider mixin, the ticker provider state mixin, because we are playing with the state, or you can say single ticket provider state mixin. Okay, so what's the difference? When you are using this single, so you are supposed to perform only a single operation. Otherwise, if you want to perform multiple operations, if you have multiple animation controllers, then you should use the ticker provider state mixin. Okay, that's I guess enough. Now what we want to do, we want to have an animation controller first of all. Okay, so we can say animation controller, and we can give it a name like animation controller, and also use the underscore. Okay, now what we can do, we can say we can override this init state, which is the initialization point of this particular class, and here we can actually instantiate this animation controller. So here it will ask for few parameters. So first of all, it's asking for some duration, so we can give it a duration like in seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Okay, then it is asking for a lower bound, upper bound, and everything. We don't want that. And then it is asking for a value. We actually don't want that either. And it is asking for vsync. So vsync, you can say that it is kind of a ticker provider for this particular for the current context which we have. Okay, and we can also change it. So this is actually necessary, and it should not be null because there are a lot of frame changes every second, so we need this. So we'll just provide here this. Okay, and then when we close it, we can say dot repeat. Okay, we want to repeat this animation, so that okay, we should write this. We want, so we are using cascading operator, that we want this animation controller dot repeat to be called, so that's why we can use this way. Okay, so this is how and why this repeat, because we want to perform this animation and again and again. Okay, after it starts. So this is what we have as of now. Okay, so now let's say in our build function we have a container, but let's say let's do one more thing. We can go to our pubspec.yaml, and we have this package random pk, which is made by me. What it does, it is like you can use a random container which will change its color frequently. Okay, depending on whenever you will build that widget, then it will change its color. Okay, so we can use the random container here. Okay, or we should not use. First of all, let's use something called scaffold, and then in the body we can use this random container. Okay, and yeah, and we need to import this as well, so we will import this. And inside this random container, you will see we have a change on read row, and that is by default true, which means whenever it will, this widget tree will be redrawn, then this will change its color. Okay, and that is the requirement which we have. I'll explain why, but just think like that as of now. Okay, and we can give it a height and width as well. So let's give it a height of, let's say 200, and the width of also 200. Okay, that would be fine, I guess. Yeah, and then, and what we also can do, we can also center it. Okay, so let's do one thing, center this widget. Okay, and then we have again a child property, but before doing that, let's run this once so that we can see what we have as of now. And we are not using this animation controller as of now, so we will use that as well. But our target is to use this animated builder, because this video is about this animated builder. So that's what we see, that's the advantage which we will see. Okay, so you can see we have this thing. Okay, if I perform the hot reload, then let me perform the hot reload. Let's just do some change. Let's perform the hot reload, and you will see it will change its color. So basically what's happening, every time when this widget tree rebuilds, then it changes its color. Okay, so now what we want to provide a child to this. Okay, and in this child we can have a normal container, let's say. Okay, and then in this container we can have some height, let's say this time 100, width which can be 100. Okay, color, we can give it a color, fixed color. So let's say we want it to be red. Okay, and now it will also have a child. Now here we can say we want to use this animated builder. Okay, so now this animated builder will take an animation. Okay, and here we have to provide a listenable. So this listenable can be our animation controller first of all. Okay, and then what we want to have a child and a builder. Okay, so what we will do, we will just copy this piece of code, this container from here, and what we can do, we can just move it, swap with the child, and this is now done. Okay, so we wanted this child to, this container to be inside this animated builder, because we will perform some animation with this controller. Okay, now in the child part we don't have to do anything here. Okay, and then we have something called builder here, which takes a context and a child. Okay, which gives context in the child basically. Okay, so here what we can do here, we already have the child, so we will use a widget which is called transform.rotate. So that is how we can use animation. So that, okay, and now we need to provide a child. So we can provide a child first of all, which we already get in the parameter, and then we have some other things here like alignment, angle. So let's give it some angle maybe. So we can say animation controller dot value, which will be changing again and again, okay, into, let's say, multiply it by 2.0. Then to give it an angle, we can use something called that import dart math, okay, math as math, and now we can use this math to get math.py, okay, and this should work. Okay, so now we need to do this thing, and as you can see, we have something like this, and you know, this is amazing, isn't it? So as you can see, we have this animation, and the thing which you should notice is that the widget which is inside our background, which is this random container, is not rebuilding itself. Okay, so that means that only this particular portion of this container which has this color red, so I should change this color, okay, or we should restart this app so that we can see a different color in the second container, and the first one should have the different color. So what I can press Control F5 here, so for hot restart, and now you will see the green color there for that random container which is acting as a parent as of now for this animator builder, but that is not getting rebuilt. Okay, and why that is not getting rebuilt? Because we are using this animator builder for only for this container. Okay, so suppose we don't want this animated builder. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, then what will happen? We will see that. Okay, so what I am going to do, I will just remove this particular portion from here. Let's do one thing, let's remove this widget, and now we have just have the container. Okay, and we also lost this transform controller. So basically let's just copy this code before removing it, so that you know, we can have this data available when we will change it. So let me just remove this this particular animated builder. Now you will see we have two containers. Okay, one has the height of 100 and second one is having the height of 200, but I guess the height is not taking like that, so there's a problem with the height. That is not the point as well. So now rather than doing that part, we can actually wrap it with the transform widget directly, transform.rotate. Okay, and in the angle we can again say that same angle, which is the animation controller dot value. Then we can say 2.0, and you can change this value, it's totally your choice. And now if I will just run it, then you can see this is not working. Why it's not working? Because we haven't used anything here to add a listener to set this state. Okay, so we could say here add listener. Okay, where what we could do, we could actually call set state. Okay, so that every time there is a change, and that change should be reflected. Okay, so now if I will run this, let me just run it F5. Okay, yeah, and now you can see this container is moving, but because I haven't used the animator builder, it is rebuilding the whole tree. And how you can understand that? You can see the background container, okay, that is changing its color every time, and that's the problem. So this is the a way of doing this using this add listener. but this is not the proper way, because you won't get that particular performance optimization. So many people don't even know that their whole widget tree is rebuilding because of this. So that's when the animated builder comes into the picture, and that can help us. So let's just remove this particular portion of code, and then we can go back to our animated builder, and let's now hot reload it, or we have to perform the hot restart, because we have something in the init state and everything. So okay, hot start didn't work. Yeah, now it is working. So yeah, so now you will see that our parent is now stuck at like that, and now you are watching this cool animation with the only the child widget which we wanted this container only. So let me just do something with the height. I don't think that this height is working either, because there is some parent constraint. And now if whenever I rebuild, then you can see the background widget changed for the once, and the second one is still moving. So yeah, this is not the problem of the container. This is not actually the part of this video, so we'll see that why this is happening. But the main motive is to use this animated builder, and apart from that we can also provide a key. So this animated builder takes an animation where you can provide your animation, which is you can provide using your animation controller. And because this is also not a video about animations, so I'm not covering all those things, what kind of animation you can do or whatever you can do. But the main point of me doing this is probably this animated builder. That is why the topic of this episode is animated builder, and this is what I wanted to show you, that how you can use this animator builder to give performance to your animations. And one more thing guys, you should always use this dispose method, so that you can directly come here, and when you don't need this, you can also we can use this dot dispose method for this animation, and then it will be fine. Okay, so that's it about this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have some suggestion with some kind of widgets which you want me to make video on, so you can always suggest me that, and you can always comment if you have any issue with those widgets and these widgets which I am always telling you about. And please subscribe to the channel if you are not the subscriber, because we need your support. And also press the bell icon if you want to get the future updates. Like the video and keep fluttering. Bye bye, take care, and I will see you in the next episode.